And today we're going to go over some basic email settings. We're going to go into how to set up your signature and include a quote, and that way you won't have to do this anymore. So the first thing I want to show you is what your email likely looks like. So when you click compose, you'll see that you basically have a blank screen. So while we're here, let's just talk about the fact that when you do send an email, the to line, this is who you're sending it to. So the way your school email works is if you start typing some letters, it will also start to pop up with the potential people that are part of the Tellend site. Now, in the subject, you should always put something that is relevant to the topic of your email. So if you are writing to your teacher and you have a question about homework, for example, you might want to put in the class period and what the question is about. So if, for example, you're in my library class, it would be 7A, and maybe you have a homework question. And then in the email, you can go ahead and tell me what the situation is. Now let's close this out because we're also going to address two other features of email that you should always include. That's the greeting and the closing. But we're going to come back to this in a minute. So let's go ahead and put in the automated signature. So we'll close this. We're not going to save this. So I'm going to head down here and I'm going to trash that. So in order to set up some custom features on your email, we're going to click here on the settings and we're going to choose settings. So you'll see there are many different things that can be set up here. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. We are looking for this section right here, the signature section. So as you notice, it says appended, which means added at the end of all outgoing messages. So this is the default font, the size, and so forth. So we're just going to leave it with the default settings right now, but we are going to go ahead and type in the closing. Now you can choose what kind of closing you would like to use. So here you can see these are many of the most popular closings that are also, really appropriate for your school email. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to include regards. And you always want to end that, follow that with a comma. And then you're going to put your first name and your last name. Now, I also mentioned you might want to include a quote. So we're actually going to spend some time looking for quotes. But for example, we would copy and paste for today. I'm going to just go ahead and type in a quote. So never let naysayers control your life. And it's important that you also include the name of the person by Miss Estevez, because I just made that up. Obviously, we are going to use some that are a little bit more well known, but this just gives you an example. So now every time I go to send an email, I'm going to have this information at the end of my email. But I'm not done yet. I have to come down here and I need to click this save the changes. If I don't do this, what I just typed will not be there. So save changes. So let's take a look at how our email looks now as opposed to how it looked in the very beginning. So if I click compose, now you will notice that the information I just typed, and you'll see these two hash marks down here. I'll make that a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. Is the closing, so regards, and then again you'll have your first name and last name, and then here's the quote that I put in. So now that saves me some time. I no longer have to do this, and so I'll concentrate putting in my recipients and again making sure that I have a subject that is relevant to the topic of my email. That's it for today. So you're going to go ahead and set this up with your own accounts.